The Match Ball.
Hello there, and welcome to the show. Live streaming for our TSB Plus members. It's on YouTube. Hello, folks. You all right? Dan here with Rob and Moscow. No Michael tonight. Said it's beneath him to do Friday night, didn't he? I think he said.
It's too good for it.
Yeah, didn't think we could win 5 in a row.
Yeah, and the worst bit was it's not what he said about us. I think we can deal with the sort of criticism he sends our way. It's what he says about the audience, the loyal audience that we really like and treasure. The things he said. But we'll deal with that another day. What I will say is the show is brought to you by Levi Solicitors, who will do you a 10% discount on your legal fees. LeviSolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Show them how it's done, Rob.
It's the big three, innit?
Go on then.
Jeans, T-shirts and denim jackets, is it?
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Will's Probate Conveyancing.
It's what it means to the youth, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to deal with the young and hirsute.
Are they not the same people?
As Michael? No.
No, okay.
Yeah, Will's Probate Conveyancing, commercial dispute resolution. What else we got?
Litigation, I've heard. That's a word that I hear in here.
Yep, all of that. Apologies if the audio's crackling. Had to restart the computer, so we'll double check to see if there's something afoot. But Leeds are beating Bristol anyway, 1-0. Good.
We're going up.
Yes, it's good. We're won. We're second in the league, and I think that means we're promoted now.
I think so, yeah. Does it end now? How many games do we have to play?
Too many for that to come. I mean, it could all be over, but not all over. But everybody's got a load of gimmies tomorrow. But good. I mean, we've had problems away. This was the kind of game where we've been having problems with them away. No problem.
To be fair, I'd sort of convinced myself going into this game, this is exactly the type of game we will lose. The January transfer window is shut. We'll play away from home, we'll lose, and everyone will go, why haven't we signed 7 left-backs, a number 10, a striker, a central midfielder? But it's fine because we're really good.
There was even the point towards the end after we brought Sam Byram on in place of Archie Gray to say...
Shave Rob's head, please, for continuity. Sorry.
That's not happening.
Sorry, go on, mate.
I don't know, it doesn't matter.
That just really tickled me. Rich is saying that Michael's been sold to Swindon late last night. Yeah, no, he's at a comedy gig. He doesn't care enough about you to do this. But yeah, it was a nice win, was that, wasn't it? It was one of the calmer ones on the anxiety scale for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it'd been nice if we'd scored in the first half, which it felt like. I mean, we were the better team all night, weren't we? But it would have been a bit more comfortable. But it was fine because straight out after half time and we scored then. So we made up for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the general. I was just looking at the thrust of the things in the comments. It's exactly that. Would have been nice to have more goals, but didn't get them. But then again, we never looked like it was going to get away from us. It got a bit loose in the second half, didn't it? But
I don't know, yeah, a little bit, I guess. But we felt comfortable. I suppose that Joe Rodon big header at the end was very, very nice. That could have been a little bit nervy, but yeah, we were good. It just felt like, I mean, Somerville was just tackling them all the time. And it felt like whenever he did that, we looked like we could score.
yeah,
We sort of waited to see if they would pass the ball to us. And if they didn't, then we'd just tackle them. So same difference. And then chances kept coming that way. They did have a couple of moments after they'd gone a goal down. But you're never going to get through a game without the other team having some sort of chance. It was sort of, with it being dominant, not taking all the chances, making it a little bit nervier than it should be, but then ultimately winning, like one of our classic home performances from this season, only in Bristol. But that's kind of what we've been looking for, is like, why can't we do? We know that we're not going to, for some reason, despite having all these great attacking players, and Pat Bamford, then I didn't even mean that.
That was very mean, but
it
still
was just
funny.
a gift. It was there to be done. I didn't even mean it, but I said it for the joke. Despite having all the attacking players, we never score as many goals as we feel like we should. So we know that's what we're going to be like, but we've not been combining that with the wins away from home so easily. And it's good to get off to that kind of start, if that can be the tone, because we played mostly at home in January and we're pretty much practically in the Scilly Isles all of February.
Silly Isles.
So we can start off very well and start off second.
That is good. Should we have a look at the table? Does it work? Let's find out.
Nothing else is working apparently. So
there we go. Oh, look, it wants some sort of...
accept some
It
cookies.
wants some consent. I'll tell you what, let's get rid of that. It wants some consent.
What, can't you just click the yes cookies button?
Yeah, I can do. I want it on dark.
Do you not know how?
I do know how to do it. Yeah, I do.
Do it then.
No, I'll do it in a minute. It's on the video. If you're listening to this
I
after,
do know
sorry.
how to do it, but I'm not going to show you.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same with
bring it back up.
Same with Leeds scoring goals. We know how to do it. We just don't want to.
There we go.
There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah, and the thing about Bristol as well that I know it's pre-match is that they'd scored 33 and conceded 33. They're almost the divisional definition of championship bang average, especially when you see Wales up front. It's just kind of, that's a championship team, and it's the kind of championship team that you just need to beat them, and that has been the problem. I didn't do the maths on what Farke said in his press conference, but when he said that over the first 7 games that we've got more points in the return fixtures. I couldn't work out if he meant against the teams that we'd already played, if we'd improved by, because I couldn't be bothered looking at the fixtures. But he was giving out about how nobody's really talking about this being the greatest Championship Leeds team that there has ever been, and also we are even better than we were in the first half of the season. But dealing with nonsense like Bristol has been a bit of a difficulty at times, but not tonight.
So we've crossed the 60-point threshold, 2 points per game. We are only in there temporarily, you dare say, given the overall form of things. But are you happy with the points on the board versus the old games in hand and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick fault with, isn't it? Like the way we've gone this season. I think I was saying on the weekly show, there has been this sort of sense of slight dissatisfaction, but then you do look at the league table and go, well, it's dead good.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we were chatting in the second half then, and you're going, oh, I really wish he'd make some subs. And it is the kind of Farke thing that's slightly frustrating, but then you think, don't matter, does it? Because we keep winning. So if that's the biggest fault I can pick, is like, oh, I wish he'd bring Joe Gellart on for 20 minutes or something. It doesn't matter.
Didn't need him.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end, it was fine as we were. And it's the thing with, it would be nice. Somerville's chance in the first half when he broke was the big one where it would have made life a lot easier because we get the lead before half time and we score and we're on top and calm everything down. And also, it was a great chance that he should have scored. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
We were in control of it, weren't we?
Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes from the first half, and I didn't actually make as many as I normally would, but then just looking at them now, they're all Leeds chances. There was that one for Rutter as well, where it was a cross into the box and their defender kind of blocked it into his path, and you thought he was just going to put it in, but then that was a good save.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, you just come out after half-time, score the goal, and it just takes the pressure off it then. And we kept attacking anyway, and we could have got loads more.
This is an interesting one from Liam, saying, on a serious note, they were very naive. The manager was to blame for how they set up. It enabled us to press them nice and high up the pitch. When they changed in the 70th minute, they were dangerous. Or dangeroo, he's put, actually, because he's probably run out of characters.
Yeah, it was surprising how often and how easily they were giving us the ball. Just don't do that. That would be my advice if I was playing against Leeds United. Don't just keep passing to Crescencio Somerville.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we found that with a lot of teams that we've come up against this season who've tried to play football against us, is that it kind of plays into our hands.
And Somerville was very good. The chance in the first half is worth dwelling on because it proves my point about why Meslier punches. That's the only reason why I want to highlight it, because but it also highlighted Bristol's weakness. But Meslier punched that corner clear, and as they tried to pass Leeds players, because the ball's live, they're breaking. Bristol aren't properly sorted out. He passes it to his centre back, and Somerville tackles him. And then there were various different ways he could have scored. Either go round him or take him on or shoot even earlier. He probably did the right thing by trying to lob him. He just didn't do a very good job of it. But it was a great example of us just catching a team trying to do something they're not very good at, and also getting them really. It was a bit of the old unbalancing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's quite exciting. But also came about. Just want to emphasise because it was a big punch from Meslier that meant while things are chaotic, we were able to go and almost prosper. And I do wish Somerville had put that away so that we could chalk that one up as a successful punch.
It's funny, isn't it, how the risk versus reward balance with stuff like that, with the punching out from the corners, it seems a lot riskier than his general distribution, where he's clearly told to hang on to it and just wait for the right opportunity to roll it out.
We do it all over the pitch. You'll see there was a time in the second half when Roden had the chance to play. Archie Gray made a run down the line and Rodens over with him and just has to play it behind the fullback. And he just turns around and passes it back to Ampadu, and then it goes back to Meslier, and he just does that. So when the opposition are set up and they're in their defensive shape, we're really careful about the way that we pick through them, and we pick our moments, and we take it very steadily. When they're all up in our penalty area and there's a chance to turn them round and force them to chase after Somerville, Gnonto and Rutter, then just punch it and see what happens. It's a chance to sort of try and take an opportunity that is harder to create when they are. And that's why, as well, when Meslier doesn't always throw the ball instantly, because if he looks up and sees all our players are getting marked up quite quickly, he'll just go like, nah, fuck it. But when they're all free, technically from a corner, nobody is marking our players, because our players are marking all their players. So anyway, but we won't go on about
They're
that
all
too long.
marking each other.
And didn't Meslier put a really good ball into the box for Bamford at one point?
The Rutter one where he just banged it over the top, and Rutter's first touch was great, but then he tried to lob it over the defender, didn't he? But yeah, I enjoyed how sometimes tonight we just knocked it over the top. So we've seen it a few times this season. I think it was against Swansea, Ampadu just knocking it over the top, and I think that was Rutter scored.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just creates a bit of space then when you do want to pass it short, because it kind of keeps them on the toes. Like you were saying then, though, about how calm we can be and just settling things down. I enjoy how we do that even when everyone's completely out of position. When we had fullbacks swapping wings, we had Jorginho Rutter at right back.
23 minutes, inverted fullbacks is my note. Yeah.
Everyone was just in a different position. You said it was total
football, didn't you?
Yeah, we do it sometimes. It was the other week when I noticed it was a game at Ellen Road, and I noticed that Archie Gray was up front and Jorginho Rutter was at right back, and I was like, I don't know if we're meant to be doing that, but I'm cool with it because it's fun. And and they're really composed when that happens. It's just like, yeah, okay, we'll just do this because we're all good footballers and we know what we're doing.
Yeah, it felt like, because that came from, I think Somerville won the ball again quite high, and it seems like if we win the ball sort of in an unexpected situation, it's almost like musical statues. It will freeze. You have to stand where you are. And it's like, if you are at right back, even if you are Pat Bamford, it's like, well, you're nearest to right back, so you have to play there until we can stop. But everybody just seems absolutely, I don't know if I'd be necessarily fine with Pat at right back, but everybody seems pretty comfortable with that. It's like, okay, yeah, we're all just in different places. Where are you? Where are you? Cool, we'll play from here.
Yeah, I noticed Gnonto was on the left wing, and I thought, oh, he must have switched with Somerville. And I was like, oh, no, wait, he stood next to Somerville.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, who's it?
They can't be apart from each other for very long.
No, exactly. You saw it full time, didn't you?
Bless him. And let's talk about Willie Gnonto then, because obviously he scored us the only goal of the game, the winning goal of the game. He probably needed that, didn't he, after he was on the bench the other day with his head in his hands and Pat consoling him and all that.
He enjoyed it, didn't he? Which was very nice to see, given what happened a week ago. But yeah, it was just shows like, I mean, last week he was slicing shots all over the place, wasn't he? If you just hit it at target in this division, keeper will sometimes jump out of the way.
Yeah. What was the keeper doing there?
I have no idea. It was a really nice goal when you watched it live, and then you saw the replay and thought, oh, he's straight down the middle, wasn't it?
He's just got himself out of the way there. Good
Who
lad.
cares? They all count the same. And yeah, he needed it. And it was just nice to see him enjoying himself. And at full time, it was lovely to see the rest of the team recognise that he needed that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's certainly a togetherness there, isn't there? It's not like he's in any way being painted as an outcast or anything like that. He's very much part of the squad. And it'll be interesting to see now if the new contract thing gets done, and whether this helps to heal and so on and so forth.
It goes to show, though, as well. I was saying it last week, but you saw the odd tweet or whatever last week when he was almost sobbing on the bench. People saying, oh, he's just pretending he cares. He's a lazy rat. I think he does care, judging by tonight. And it's nice to see him get a reward.
Interesting question here from Leslie. Just to channel Normanton for a moment. Should we not be putting these games to bed by half time? Yeah and no. I mean, game management is one of the phrases that got used a fair bit in the second half. And we can talk about Andy Hinchcliffe a little bit if you want in a moment or two and his interesting co-commentary. But I don't know, the game management aspect of it and the way that like Farke uses his subs and stuff, it feels like, I don't know, game management is fairly prominent in his thinking. In terms of not throwing everything at it to go get more goals late on. So if it is 1-0 at half time and then you get to 70 minutes and it's still 1-0, you want to make sure you don't throw away your 1-0.
Doesn't Leslie mean we should score in the first half rather than that?
Yeah,
we should put the game to bed by half time. Just means Somerville should score.
Yeah, no.
Rutter could have scored that one, but it's a great save. We should have had a penalty. So we had the chances, but yeah it's been a problem. It's actually been something that we've been a bit better at over the last couple of games where we've started really well and around I think 15 minutes or 20 minutes or after we've scored. So we've gone ahead quite early. And that was the thing that was absent today. But I guess the next best thing, if you don't make that breakthrough, which we are for some reason, for whatever reason, we're pretty bad at taking chances with the Farkas thing about there is not enough brutality in the penalty area when the ball is there. We do not be brutal enough. So without the brutality, but 47 minutes is probably the next best thing of like, oh, okay, that first half ended up being a bit of a drag that we couldn't score. And when they had that free kick just before half time, I really did think like they're probably going to score from this and it'll be a classic situation of us being away, not taking the chances, going behind in stoppage time when we have loved to concede all season. And then we have to deal with the second half and it'll be a slog and we'll probably lose 1-0. So if you don't score, don't concede, and then get to half time and then start the second half and get a goal as early as possible. But yeah, we are good enough, and it would have been pretty easy, but Somerville's chance when he was through, not really wrong with the way he tried to do it. Rutter, it's a wonder save, and we didn't get the penalty. So maybe you're then going like, did we create enough? But yeah, I feel like we were creating all the chances. So Leslie's right, but also Leslie's wrong.
We're all right and we're all wrong in our own ways. Eh? Talk about that penalty incident then, shall we? Was it a penalty?
Jermaine Beckford wanting it, so I think it should be a penalty, yeah. I mean, he did get kicked in the back of the leg, didn't he? The ref couldn't really see it, whether he was in a bad position or whether that was just circumstance. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it was a penalty.
He chopped his legs. He chopped his standing leg, didn't he? Even if he was dragging his leg and looking for it, the tackle still came in and didn't get the ball.
Yeah, I thought the argument was that the Bristol City defender might have got the touch first. You couldn't really tell on the replay, but then at the same time, it was a bit of a scissor tackle, wasn't it? And like the argument at half-time between the bad pundits who weren't Jermaine Beckford was that I'd gone down too easily and stuff. And you think, well, yeah, because he's been kicked in the back of the leg.
There's two on it. First, I thought from one replay, I thought, oh, maybe he's got a touch on the ball, so maybe it's not a penalty. I didn't really think too much of it. But then the more and more Hinchcliffe was going on about how it was not a penalty, the more and more I was like, well, I fucking think it is then.
Hinchcliffe was doing the classic thing of, I said it wasn't a penalty, so I'm going to stick to that and get more and more and more convinced.
And I became more as like, I had quite an open mind at first because I just saw one replay and I wasn't too sure. But then the more he started saying it wasn't, I was like, oh, it definitely is then. Fine, I'll go the other way.
It was one of those where I'm like, I'm kind of happy to just get on with this because I don't like VAR and I'm like, whatever, cool. But then, like you said, the more Hinchcliffe went on, I was like, can we just have it then instead?
And then the other thing is in the studio at halftime is how has Troy Deeney just gone back into punditry? Like 6 weeks at Forest Green Rovers, you're absolutely useless. You get sacks. It's like, oh, I'll just go back to being an expert on the telly. Surely there must be some, like, Dave Hockaday has not been employed as a pundit on Sky Sports, and he was far, far better at Forest Green Rovers than Troy Deeney. So I don't know how he's just walked back into that job. That didn't work. I'll just sit back down here and tell you whether that was what Farker should have done.
You don't know what offers Dave Hockaday's turned down. If he wasn't too busy being a PE teacher.
Yeah, there's been sixth form colleges bidding
wars. It was
wars.
parents' evening, right? Couldn't do it.
Yeah, you think that there's competition in the college system in the USA. There's been nothing until when Hockaday came back on the market. Just on pundits as well, I enjoyed the two tweets on the goals. I love this. So Graham Smith tweeted the goal, said, Junior Firpo with a lovely pass inside from the left touchline. Bamford dummies it, and it gives Nonto a chance to get on it. He takes inside a defender and drills home. Phil Hay says, a pretty aimless pass from Firpo turns into a winner as it runs through to Nonto. He works himself into space. So no mention of a dummy from Bamford there, or of it being the lovely pass that Graham said. So it just goes to show that it really is a game of opinions, and we all see the game our own way. And maybe even if the referee did not think that was a penalty, I'm sure that the fourth official would not have made such a pig's ear of awarding it had he been on the pitch. Boom, boom, Keith Stroud joke.
What do you think of Pat's job up front today then?
He had some Pat Bamford moments, didn't he, where he didn't seem to know where the ball was, or there was that first touch.
He had it.
Yeah, there was that first touch at the end where he got played, didn't he? He just seemed to clear it, didn't he? Which was good.
It was the one at the end that you're thinking of. It like knocked him over.
Yes.
It was like they'd rolled a ball at a Jenga tower and he just went flying.
But I do think though in games like that, he's just a presence up front, and he was.
And playing through balls much more often and having just getting on the ball and being much more entertaining more often. It's because Bamford's basically worrying their defenders like a dog in a sheep's field.
A dog in a sheep's field.
A dog in a sheep's field. A paddock, isn't it? That's what you call them.
Yeah.
Wherever you keep your sheep.
Right. Referee. Didn't give many yellow cards out. What do you think of his performance overall? Little hench referee. Steve Martin, the actor.
Yeah, I don't like it when referees are hench. Freaks me out for some reason. I feel like they should just be weedy old men. But I thought it was fine, really. There was nothing much to get too upset about that penalty aside, really, was there?
Nah. Thought it was fine. And lovely pectoral muscles. Keith Stroud on the old what's it called? Fourth official subs boards.
Making himself the centre of attention, wasn't he, at full time?
Yes, he got right in Farker's face for the handshake while Liam Manning was standing around like when Stroud has finished with you, Daniel, I would also like to shake your hand, being the opposing manager. That was good. He never misses a moment. Get a little face on the telly.
And it is little.
I'd like to see him and Wilf having some kind of wrestling match, because they're both probably of like an even size, and even though Gnonto is probably a lot stronger and certainly got about at least 20 years on him, I think Keith Stroud would make that up in cockiness. You put him into a wrestling ring with Wilf Gnonto, and Stroud is going to think he's going to take him.
But do you think Gnonto gets him in the end?
I think he smashes him in 2 minutes. Oh, that's even a question. I don't think Stroud lasts even like a tenth as long as he thinks he's going to. So that would be part of the entertainment as well.
That's the promotion party.
Yes, bring the referees back for a wrestling match. It would be.
Are we going up?
Yeah, it'll be easy, and then we can be. What's his face? Chris Wilder. That whole thing about the referee, the linesman
eating a sandwich. Do you think Keith Stroud would eat a ham sandwich?
Yeah, he'd be there. He'd be putting BLT. The weird thing about that, and this is absolutely true, because Wilder's endpoint on that is like, oh, it must be nice for him to like eat a sandwich while talking to a Premier League manager. I thought that must have been like an old clip that I'd missed from a while ago. I'd completely forgotten he was managing Sheffield United again. So he's all like, oh, he's in the presence of a Premier League manager. I was like, who are we talking about here? Is this recent?
Oh,
You are actually a Premier League manager. Okay, because I just avoid, whenever Sheffield United, if they're the game that's on, I'm not watching that because there's nothing to be gained. So like what they've been doing lately has been completely passed me by. And I was like, yeah, so I also disrespect you. Me and Pat Bamford don't like you, Chris. Just putting that out there. I would eat in front of you.
I would eat in front of him with my mouth open. I'd be like really making prominent chomping noises.
Spitting bits at him.
Yeah, like that. Farker says he was happy with how the transfer window went. Comments from the press conference. It was crucial that Michael's not here to do the voice, is he? It was crucial that not that he ever does it anymore. It was crucial that we kept our key players and we did this. We made no secret that we would need 1 or 2 defensive players. Says the need for a centre-back eased, but a right-back was important. Wanted to bring a specialist in and found one in Connor Roberts. He's a top-class character, fully committed. It feels like we're the Welsh national team! ! Might have to see if Phil realises. I think he's been spelling Connor Roberts' name wrong with 1 N. Because I've got him open here in Wikipedia and it's got 2 N, and I think Wikipedia is the authority on this and not Phil Hay.
I hope so, because I've been spelling it with 2 N's in the daily email today.
2 N's. I didn't realise there was an issue. But it's ROBBOTS, isn't it?
It's what, sorry?
ROBBOTS, or his surname.
Yeah.
Robots.
Yes. Farker on Nonto, I was hoping it would be like this. I'm happy and delighted for him. In recent weeks, he was there with good work. A goal or assist was missing, and he's there with a crucial goal. He's delighted. Feels the margin of the win should have been bigger. Many things he liked today. Dominant, created out of almost each and every situation. So many chances. The only thing I have to criticise is our efficiency. It annoys me today a little bit. But he's delighted for the lads. Massive 3 points for us. Better finishing will be crucial to making sure Leeds are where they want to be in May.
He's with Leslie.
Yeah. Just kick it hard in the net.
Yeah. It is the only thing that's really wrong, is that we're just not... and it's hard to... Because maybe it's tied to like the patience. Because one of the things about probably with that game that we are content to meander a bit, and one of it is I just don't get enough sleep. And then also that not a lot happened.
No, I stopped making notes in the second half, apart from when Cree went through on 82 minutes and put it past the post. I noted the subs were quite late again. Willie's goal, that was it after half time.
Kamara had a good chance straight after we'd scored, where Somerville again, I think, had tackled a defender and played in Kamara, and his touch was just a bit off. It was only the other week he was being interviewed and he was asked about when are you going to score your first goal for Leeds, and he's like, I'm really trying, if you just give me a bit more time. Like, come on, mate, you've had 6 months or whatever now.
That was the chance. And that was one that Somerville, for some reason, didn't go the other way, where Rutter looked like a better option, particularly because he wasn't Glenn Kamara. It's like, well, which one? Although I suppose Rutter can't really finish either. Maybe, I think, possibly one of the things with this is that those players who do all the creative stuff and all the exciting attacking are really young. And so Rutter, Somerville, Nyonto, Dan James isn't even that old, and then Jaden Anthony I don't think is particularly old, and he's had a good season at this level before. But certainly our 3 main players, Rutter, Somerville, Nyonto today, aren't experienced at any level. Somerville, I remember I looked at this at the start of the season when they could barely break Sheffield Wednesday down. Most of his games were still when he was 16, 17, playing in Eredivisie 2 and then a few like a season in 1, and then he's been in our under-21s not really getting any run of games together. These are kind of, for all of them, it's their first season being first choice professional footballers at a proper level. And so I think it's like that Somerville chance when he's running through, what's he going to do? Is he going to go around the keeper? Is he going to lob him? Is he going to take it early? Is he going to beat him this way? Probably just needs to be like 5 years older and he'd make the right decision. And so
grow up.
Yeah, it is. But so we kind of have the benefit of them being very free-spirited, but also we have to put up with the fact that quite often, if there's a pass, you got a choice, Glenn Kamara or Jorginho Rutter, which one are you going to put through? And you quite often see our players turning around to each other and going, I should have done the other thing. And they don't do bad things. It's those little bits of experience, which is why Pat Bamford has been, Farker has said it's been useful getting back in the team, because he's been around the block and knows, he's played loads of games at this level. And then Connor Roberts coming in as well as a 28, 29-year-old, admittedly, taken over from
Don't get into that Arsenal fan debate. He's 28 until he's 29 and all that. Good God.
I was just thinking about if he's taking over from Sam Byram, it's not really. But it's Junior Firpo's presence as well. It's like getting the average age up of the team a little bit is maybe just helps. And I don't know why I'm looking at Junior Firpo as somebody who makes good decisions. Anywho, you know where I'm coming from.
I did enjoy Jorginho Rutter shooting from 40 yards. It was there to do, but bloody hell, it really was nowhere near. I think with him, if you just tell him you're not shooting, you're passing. Because he's really good at passing. Like, his weight of pass is incredible. But then when he tries to shoot, it just all goes wrong. So like with that chance you've just got to pass it over the keeper into the net. I think he'd score it.
And the great thing about that, as we mentioned in here, is that the one player who could tell him how to do it is Archie Gray, who did it when he was 15 against scum under 21s, didn't he? So that kind of blows the argument out of the water. But I suppose it's just like when you've got Archie Gray, he can tell you how to do anything.
He's just dead good, isn't he?
I'm going to say something really obvious now, and that is Archie Gray's great.
That bit where he was just juggling the ball in their box was absolutely hilarious.
I thought it was going to be Cantona 1992 against Chelsea, revisited.
I was
loads better.
Watching him today, I was like, I'm quite excited if Roberts gets in the team and Archie Gray can then move into midfield. Because there was a bit where I thought Kamara was fine today, but he's sometimes looked a little bit leggy towards the end of the second halves in the last few weeks. And Archie Gray's just so good. Let's get him in the middle of the pitch and just get him involved loads.
Yeah, Kamara never seems a million miles away from sort of giving them the ball. He did it once tonight, didn't he? Where at least he was very slow waiting for a pass from Ampadu to get to him, and they nearly got a chance out of that. And he always seems to be the one that sort of is veering towards something like that happening. It could well be that he just kind of basically had summer off and didn't have a proper pre-season. It's kind of might be catching up with him a bit. But you're right, Archie Gray in the middle. I mean, who would? It's funny the phases. I was writing about this after some game recently, and how much the team has changed with the phases that the team goes through. You wouldn't have thought even a few months ago that our midfield would be Archie Gray and Ilya Gruff. Like that wasn't predicted.
He was good again tonight. He was, didn't see much of him on the ball, I didn't think, but I thought second half, particularly defensively, he was really good. But that's something Farke's been talking about, isn't it? How when he's kind of been defending his lack of changes and rotation, he's sort of pointed out, well, the team just gradually evolves through the season, and we've seen it loads this year already. And if Roberts does sort of get fit and firing into the team, that will sort of see it gradually evolve again, and just give us a few more options in midfield. And
there'd be no problem with. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Kamara either. So it's a great thing. So if Gray can either have a rest for a while and we carry on with Kamara and Cruyff, or Gray goes in there first and then Kamara comes in later in the season. It's all good because they all seem to be pretty good. They're the best in the Championship has ever seen in the Leeds shirts, according to Daniel Farke. He also, I guess you'll be right, that if we won tonight, we're back to 2 points per game.
Yeah, 60 from 30. You can do those maths.
We are going up.
Just asking about the stats, number of people asking about the stats in the comments on YouTube. 61% possession we had, XG 1.21 to 0.4. Willie Nonto's XG on that goal was only 0.03, a 3% chance of that one going in. So that's not bad, is it?
That probably presumes that the goalkeeper's not just going to exit the scene.
Yeah, or rather, of every 100 shots taken from there, 3 go in. Doesn't necessarily mean a 3% chance. 14 shots to 7, 6 on target to 1, 3 big chances to none. It was pretty comprehensive, wasn't it?
And as Donna points out, it does look like Roden did a lead salute instead of giving somebody some instructions.
He did like 4 different hand gestures, didn't he, after that header? It was lovely.
And then the last one was just Leeds. It was like, you mark him, you squeeze up there, you go forward, Leeds. I hope he does that after every command he gives.
Salute.
Yeah.
Georgie was doing it at home as well, singing along.
You pay attention.
Right, we will wrap it up there then. Thank you for joining us on the stream. If you're listening afterwards, you can get priority access to the match ball with TSB Plus. Have a look for that. Well, we can just relax for the rest of the weekend now and watch the other chumps trip up, can't we? While we cement our... No.
I don't think there's anything gained to be watching. They've all got really easy games, haven't they? Or like relatively easy games. It's what are they exactly? It's
Rotherham, Southampton, and then Preston against Ipswich, which might not be that easy. But
well, now they've signed Kiefer Moore. So if he's eligible, then Preston had better look out. And then Leicester have got away to Stoke. So there's not really anything. We'll be going well if any of them slip up. I hope they do.
You never know, though, do you? We've got the points on the board. They don't. So they'll be feeling the pressure. They're going to be feeling the pressure. Right, we will wrap it up there then, and we'll see you on the other side. See you soon.
The Match Ball.